Hi, it's Alex Counts again. I'll be talking about working coalitions as a nonprofit leader in today's video, which I'll follow up with another one next week. First of all, I want to thank some of the people who have been very helpful to my YouTube channel. Abra Anis, charity auctioneer extraordinaire who encouraged me to start this, and my younger brother Michael Counts, who's an outstanding visual artist. And also those of you who have promoted my videos online in different ways and drawn attention to them, taken a look at them. I appreciate all that. So this topic, working in coalitions as a nonprofit leader. My mentors were somewhat of differing opinions on this as I was coming up as a nonprofit leader in training, you might say. And some of them thought it was invaluable, some of them thought it was kind of a waste of time, and certainly some coalitions don't get much done and yet take a lot of time if you engage, and I would probably stay away from those unless I thought I could reform them. But ultimately I came to think that coalitions can be incredibly important for a nonprofit leader to help advance the change agenda they want in society. In fact, in my book, When in Doubt, Ask for More, I have one of my 214 lessons is called Coalition Building: Challenging, Frustrating, Essential. So how did I come to that view? Well, I was involved a lot in a group called the Microfinance CEO Working Group that I wrote about in my other book, Changing the World Without Losing Your Mind. And so first of all, why be involved? Well, I think there are several reasons. One is there are certain things as a nonprofit that you can do much more efficiently as part of a group of nonprofits working on the same issue than alone. For example, changing government policy, changing corporate policy, and changing public opinion. Those things much easier to do when you have a broad range of groups who have different influence points than you may have that complement what you have. Second of all, market intelligence. You may be missing something that's happening in that affects your organization and the external environment. But if you're sitting around the table with other leaders on a monthly or quarterly basis, they may be more in the know than you, and you may hear from them, even just casual conversation or part of your deliberations. You'll develop relationships with other leaders, organizations that might see themselves as competitors, but also ones that have common interests. And these are people who, if you're potentially looking to hire someone who worked for them, if you have a good relationship with them, they'll give you an honest assessment of that person that they might not otherwise if they don't have any kind of relationship with you. And you also will get insights about the field you're in, the social movement you're in. You'll be able to see some cases where what might be in the interest of your organization isn't necessarily interest of your cause, and you might want to reconsider your position. So these are things that why you may want to do this. Now in my next video I'll talk about how to engage in coalitions, at least from my experience, but let me say a few things about how not to. First of all, if you're involved in a coalition, don't only focus on the meetings and the agenda items that are of most interest to your organization, kind of tune out the others. It's poor etiquette, and it makes the whole thing more transactional than it needs to be. So show interest in everything, especially those that are meaningful to your group now, but others might be meaningful later. Don't attend the meeting sporadically, only when it's free on your schedule. Cancel at the last moment. This will negatively affect your reputation within the group, within the leaders, within the community you're part of. Show up as often as you can. Don't send junior people, even if the traditions of the coalition allow for it. And my view is that they normally shouldn't. But don't send junior people. Go yourself, or send a very senior deputy on occasion if you have to. Don't neglect explaining to your own organization why you're involved in the coalition. People may, if they don't understand the value to your cause, to your social movement, to your organization from your being involved, they may resent it. Why isn't he here or she here to work and support us as opposed to working in this kind of nebulous coalition? So report back to your organization what you've done, why you've done it, what are the benefits, and they'll appreciate that. And don't over-involve yourself in a coalition. This is the other extreme from being not involved enough. Don't over-involve yourself if your coalition work is very satisfying, but you're having trouble in your own organization in some way or other. So strike a balance and have it be based on where you're needed most, not where you're most comfortable. If you're in a coalition, don't hog the spotlight. If you're there for an announcement, even if you're one of the larger organizations, especially if others have contributed more to your coalition's success that you're now, let's say, announcing publicly. And in meetings behind closed doors, don't dominate the sessions. Even if you have more expertise than most, maybe you'll speak up a little bit more, but let others speak. It gives you an opportunity to listen and be curious and absorb new information. Don't also withdraw from discussions if you have less expertise. I once had a leader in a coalition I was part of when I was moderating a discussion, and on a small table, around 8 people around the table, she spent most of the time doing her expense reporting for her organization, paying very little attention to the discussion, which didn't really bother me much, but I think it affected how the other coalition members saw her as being kind of rude to me. So be attentive, don't be on your phone, don't be on your computer unless you absolutely have to be. If you're going to show up, again, go yourself if you're the representative, give it your full attention, don't dominate, don't withdraw, and what you find is over time that your ability to affect change within your organization and within your field will grow. You'll develop great relationships that may extend well beyond your leadership role, and it'll just make the whole process of pursuing social change more fun.